Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to discuss a topic that is actually really close to my heart. I feel like astrology is very useful at helping us understand what we need to deal with in this lifetime, but also what we have to tap into, what talents we have, what resources we have, what skills we have, and what are the areas in our life in which we have been blessed. Hashtag blessed, because it's all good and fine to look at your natal chart and understand your lessons and understand your struggles, but actually a natal chart does tell us a lot more than that. It tells us what tools the universe has given to us in order to fight our fights, in order to evolve spiritually, and live a meaningful life, I would say. Now, today we are discussing about Jupiter, and more specifically about Jupiter and its sign placement. Now, a little bit of intro on Jupiter in general. Jupiter is very well known for being the Great Benefic, because whatever area in your chart it touches, it tends to bring a sense of abundance in that particular area. People associate it with good luck, with blessings, with things falling into your lap. Now, a little bit of mythology around Jupiter. In Greek mythology, Jupiter, aka Zeus, was the son of Kronos. Kronos, as you might have heard, or maybe not, was prompted by his father Uranus to be very careful, not to be dethroned by his children. So, what did Kronos think of? Well, a really poor plan, I would say. He decided to swallow his children. So he swallowed them one by one after the other. But finally, when he was supposed to swallow little Jupiter, little Zeus, his mother Rhea actually swaddled a rock and gave it to Kronos to swallow instead of swallowing Zeus. So Jupiter is the name the Romans have given to this god, but in Greek mythology, he's called Zeus, which you may know already, but I thought I'd take a moment to clarify it. So what happened is, Rhea fed Kronos a rock, and he sent Zeus to the island of Crete, where the nymphs looked after him and fed him and raised him, and he actually he was raised on the milk of the goat Amalthea. And when he grew up, Zeus was obviously very grateful to Amalthea, so he turned Amalthea into a constellation. And he also was super grateful to the nymphs that looked after him and protected him, and he gave them the horn of bounty, cornucopia, which was the horn that would always be refilled with whatever food or whatever drink you wanted it to be refilled with. So Jupiter is very much associated with this sense of abundance and generosity and giving to everyone. And Jupiter finally left, or Zeus finally left Crete when he grew up, and he went on to dethrone his father and to become the King of Kings, the God Almighty, the leader of gods. Now, Jupiter can also be quite, if we think of mythology and its symbolical associations, Jupiter can be a war god, and can be quite patronizing, and can be quite arrogant and quite conceited, because he knows he's got all this power and all this bounty, and he tends to lord it over others. So wherever we have Jupiter placed in our natal chart, yes, we are likely to be very generous with those particular gifts that we have been endowed with, but we can also be quite arrogant about them, and tend to feel like there's no one as good as us in that particular area. And there's this sense of self-inflatedness. Last but not least, Jupiter was an explorer. He wanted to like expand his realm, and he wanted to rule over the entire world. So Jupiter in our natal charts and whatever sign it's placed in shows us where we tend to be dissatisfied with what we have, and we want more and more and more and more, which is fantastic to an extent, because without us wanting more, there would be no progress, there would be no growth. But the flip side of the Jupiterian coin can be greed and wanting too much. Let us talk a little bit about Jupiter through the signs. Now, if you've got Jupiter in your natal chart in Aries, then what is your number one gift? Or like, what are your number one gifts? How are you blessed? So first of all, you are an innate leader. You are a master leader. You probably draw your faith from your capacity to lead others, and from your capacity to draw on to latent courage and explore new realms that no one is, I would say, as brave as you are to explore. So Jupiter in Aries gives fantastic leadership qualities. Jupiter in Aries is also the master troubleshooter. So in cases of an emergency, you'd be blessed to have a Jupiter in Aries around you, because you guys are fantastic at finding solutions, at thinking quickly, on your feet, and at operating at high speed. Jupiter in Aries not only gives you like these fantastic leadership qualities, it can make you a fantastic salesman and a fantastic promoter of any kind, but especially when it comes to topics that have to do with religion or philosophy. So you can be like the number one preacher, and people are simply gonna follow you. And you probably have quite like drastic ideas about how things should be done, and you've got like a new beginning in your head. You're also very blessed with an optimism when it comes to new beginnings. So you operate very well in new situations. You operate very well at the beginning of, of projects. You operate very well at opening new paths for people. And last but not least, Jupiter in Aries can give you really good athletic qualities, and it can make you very competitive. So it's not unusual for athletes to have a prominent Jupiter in Aries. Now, if you have Jupiter in Taurus, well, this is, I mean, you probably know this already, but I'm gonna lay it out for you nice and clean. You attract wealth in your life. So it's not so much that you are necessarily focused on collecting material things. It feels like you receive an abundance of money, an abundance of gifts, and you would do very, very well in a position that requires you to raise funds. For instance, you can be very generous with your money and with your material possessions, but be very careful not to think that you are better than other people just because you tend to attract more money than they do, and it just comes to you more easily. Because remember, it doesn't come very easily to like everyone. It just comes easily to you because you don't have to put that much effort into receiving material blessings in this lifetime. You would also do very well, and you'd probably, I'd say, find even more abundance if you involve yourself in matters that have to do with land, because Taurus also rules the land and the earth. Now, if you've got Jupiter in Gemini, you've been blessed with a very active mind. You have a way with words, you have your words about you, you can be a prolific writer, you can be a prolific speaker, you probably have inclinations towards teaching other people, and you might actually be able to teach people in a foreign environment, so teaching overseas is very possible. Jupiter in Gemini is not necessarily the most, I would say, the friendliest combination, because Jupiter here is placed in its detriment. So Gemini is very focused on bringing order to chaos and on like juggling different plates at the same time, whereas Jupiter is focused on the bigger, greater meaning of things. So it can give you quite a restless quality. It can make you even more restless than, let's say, a Gemini sun. It can make you have a hard time when it comes to studying something more in depth, or like spending more time focusing on a particular topic. It feels like you just want to like jump from one topic to the other, or from like one point of interest to the other. If you've got Jupiter in Cancer, how have you been blessed? Well, I'd say you were probably blessed with a good childhood, where you were properly nurtured, properly looked after. Your strength and your faith and your blessings, a lot of them probably come from your family. So it is your family that tends to, let's say, be the rock in your life, and your faith, and the fact that they're always going to be there for you. You do probably believe in the family unit as a whole, and it is something that is likely going to bring you benefits throughout your life. Jupiter in Cancer can also mean inheritance, or like financial blessings coming your way via your family, and more specifically via your mother. Last but not least, you would do very well business-wise if you were to invest in real estate, or if you were to work in a business that involves food, for instance, restaurants. Now, if you've got Jupiter in Leo, you've been blessed with tons of charisma, and you've been blessed with being able to make people listen to you, being very liked by people. You're probably quite popular, I would say, unless Jupiter is receiving tense aspects from other planets. If Jupiter is very prominent, you probably enjoy being the center of attention. You enjoy putting on a show. You probably do enjoy things in general that are done in a big, grandiose style, like very pompous, very extravagant. It kind of like nurtures your soul, and you can be very good at bluffing. Last but not least, Jupiter in Leo can make you a fantastic actor, but also a fantastic politician. It all comes down to charisma. Take from that what you want. Now, if you've got Jupiter in Virgo, again, this is not the best of mixes, I would say, because Virgo is very much focused on the trees, whereas Jupiter is focused on the forest. However, you do have your blessings. You have received your own blessings. I would say you are probably very good at taking care of your own health, and you are probably endowed with good health in general. You get your faith from your capacity to work hard, from your capacity to constantly better yourself and upgrade yourself, I would say. Jupiter in Virgo can also mean that in this lifetime you're gonna have a lot of work to do, and you're gonna gather more faith from being of service to other people and keeping yourself busy throughout your life. Habits, day-to-day rituals, a healthy diet are all things that will contribute to your sense of wholesomeness. Now, if you've got Jupiter in Libra, you're very likely going to broaden your horizons and expand upon your wisdom through your relationships. It is also very possible that you're you're gonna meet a partner, or you're gonna be blessed with a partner who will help you explore the world. Last but not least, what you do have a lot of, and what you have been blessed with in abundance, is an innate sense of justice and what is right. Well, we all know what is right and what is wrong, but for you, like this internal barometer, this internal compass when it comes to justice is stronger than anything else, and you probably believe from the bottom of your heart and from your core that there can be justice for all, and you can be quite a preacher for justice in general. Now, if you've got Jupiter in Scorpio, dear God, what have you been blessed with? So you've been blessed with a very inquisitive mind. You've been blessed with the capacity to see through people, the capacity to read through people. And where does your faith come from? Well, your faith comes from understanding human nature and understanding people's most basic instincts and understanding how humans operate. And also, with that, understanding power and how to use it. It is very likely that power will come your way easily in this lifetime, the same way that, for instance, relationships and commitment is going to come very easily to those with Jupiter in Libra. So use that power wisely, because you can use it for the better or for worse. Jupiter in Sagittarius is at home. So what does that make you? You're blessed with a sense of an innate sense of optimism in general, and this is probably something, if Jupiter is not ill aspected, is probably something that pervades through your entire being, I would say. You are a natural explorer, a natural traveler, someone who wants to broaden their horizons and learn as much as possible and understand as much as possible of this world, and also experience as much as possible. So it's very likely that you're going to be blessed with a lot of opportunities to travel, a lot of opportunities to learn, and a lot of opportunities to reach that level of wisdom and the truth that you're looking for. Now, if you've got Jupiter in Capricorn, what are you blessed with? Well, a crazy sense of duty and responsibility, which I'd say with Jupiter in Capricorn is probably something that can be quite the source of satisfaction and internal fulfillment. So knowing that you do the right thing, knowing that you're taking responsibility feels easy and feels natural and feels like the right thing to do. You probably have a strong innate belief in the establishment and the status quo and tradition, and you draw your strength from that. And last but not least, you feel blessed by the fact that you're very likely going to get in positions of authority in your life, and you know what needs to be done. But be very careful not to alienate other people by thinking that you're the only authority out there and there can be no one higher up above. Now, if you've got Jupiter in Aquarius, what have you been blessed with? Well, generally, Jupiter in Aquarius is likely going to bring with it a large circle of friends, a large circle of acquaintances, and it's going to bring with it large dreams as well, and this very strong innate belief in the betterment of humanity, and in the fact that if we all come together, the world is going to be a much better place. You probably are someone who attracts progress and technology in their life. You probably feel very much at ease with your quirks and with the things that make you unique, and it gives you a sense of satisfaction to be able to go out into the world and fly your freak flag high, and in the meantime also gather people of the same belief around you. Now, Jupiter in Pisces, last but not least, is big on spirituality. Depending on where it's placed in your chart, it may be more or less visible. You are probably endowed with the capacity to help victims in this lifetime, and you can attract quite a significant amount of victims. Your biggest blessing is your sense of empathy and your sense of oneness with the universe. And to you, everything makes sense in the wider spectrum of the universe, I would say. So you are past the day-to-day, past the material side of things. You understand what the higher purpose of the human soul is, and that is to merge with the universe. So you have like a huge amount of compassion for people. You understand their pain. You are very empathetic and sympathetic. You give them all the emotional support necessary. I'd also say you're probably going to be attracted in this lifetime to new age topics, the occult, astrology, spirituality, meditation, and being involved in all these activities is going to bring you a renewed sense of optimism, and that in turn, when we're optimistic, we automatically attract blessings our way. So now let me know where you've got your Jupiter in your natal chart, and do let me know, guys, if you also want me to continue and make a series about, not a series, a part 2 of this video, taking you through Jupiter in each house in your natal chart. Now, if you don't know what your natal chart looks like, I've left a link in the description box down below. If you want to understand your natal chart and if you need help in that area, I also offer personalized natal chart readings, and please get in touch with me and we can talk and I can answer all your questions. So thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't subscribed, and I shall speak to you soon. Bye.